Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's...
Welcome to the new channel. This is No Luck Garage. It is an offshoot of No Luck Trucking. My wife and I are over-the-road truck drivers, and we've been documenting our journey doing trucking, but we have a passion for cars, and that's what we spend a lot of our time on when we are not truck driving. So we wanted to make a channel to kind of separate the content, because a lot of people watch our other channel for trucking, and I wanted a channel that we could put out car content. We could go nerd level for wiring, electronics, cars. We're even going to do some of our other hobbies like smoking meats, polishing, powder coating, possibly if we get back into that. And we just kind of want to introduce the mainstay of the channel, which is going to be the GTO. I bought the GTO originally bone stock in 2010, and I had the car for about 4 years. And then I ended up selling it because I couldn't really afford the car. It went through several stages while I was owning it, and mostly by the end it looked really good, but it was such a pain to drive. It was way too low, the wheels were way too wide, but I loved the car. It was great. Met a ton of people through cars because of that car. Even now on my Facebook, half the people that are on there were just people that I met when I had that car. So sold the car, moved on, met Liz, we got married. She was disappointed that I didn't still have the car. And then fast forward to 2020, we were looking for a project car. We were looking for something that we could have a fun daily and still tinker with. And I actually stayed in contact for the last 7 years with the guy that bought the car from me originally, Brandon. He lived up in Pennsylvania. He reached out, and we talked about potentially buying the GTO back. So we made a deal. We sent them the money. We came home one time on home time. We drove up there and brought the car back to Virginia. And since then, we had it for about a year, and we just kind of did maintenance and little things. We put a short shifter on, put different wheels on it, things like that. Did a lot of bushings and fluid changes and things like that. It was really well taken care of, so there wasn't a ton to do. We just kind of drove it. And then we decided to start building the car kind of the way that I wanted to originally when I first had it, but I just never had the money to do any sort of build. So we decided that we wanted to supercharge the GTO. We bought a Magnuson supercharger kit, and we kind of tore it down and did a nice build. We basically have everything from radiator back to clutch and all the supporting mods for the supercharger. So the supercharger kind of build is going to be the main focus of the channel. And then we actually did recently just buy a Chevy 1500, well, technically GMC 1500 truck at 1998, and we're going to do an LS swap on that, and that's going to be the tow vehicle for a little while, and then we're going to turbocharge that, and that's going to be our dedicated drag vehicle, because it has a solid rear axle, has a large enough engine bay that we can put the turbo and not melt wires. So originally we were going to turbo the GTO. I just didn't like any of the kits, and you always have the danger of melting all of the engine harness wires, because they put out so much heat and the engine bay is so cramped. I just want to kind of thank everyone for coming over to this channel and following our passion. Cars are kind of what makes us tick. We love trucking and we're good at it, but at the end of the day, we both really, really enjoy cars, and that's kind of what we want to do after trucking as well, just something dealing with cars. So to be able to kind of share this content with everyone and not alienate the audience that we built for trucking has been a blessing. It's going to be so much fun just being able to put out content on this channel and not have to worry about you know, kind of the views dropping and everything, because obviously the majority of the people there want trucking content on our other channel, and I don't blame them. It's a trucking channel, but this is going to be basically everything except for trucking. You know, like what we do on home time, the builds that we're working on, things we want to spend our money on, places that we go, new hobbies that we pick up. So we wanted to get the origin story out of the way so everyone could kind of get caught up, and also new visitors to the channel will kind of understand what we're doing and the backstory of the project. So this is going to be a continual build. There are going to be periods of time where there's no videos for a little while. I only have so much content kind of recorded, because when we were doing the supercharger, I did not intend to make a full series or a separate channel itself, so not everything was recorded. Now every time we work on it, we make a conscious effort to kind of pull out the camera and record it. So once we get up to the point where we are up to the present day, it's going to be a little bit of time in between uploads. Hopefully you guys understand, because that's how trucking works. Is you're gone for a while, you make a ton of money, you come back and spend it all. Just want to thank everyone for joining over. Before we even had the first video up, we almost had 100 subscribers to the channel. So out there in our community that we've grown, I guess some people actually want to see the car content, and I'm grateful for that, and hopefully we'll pick up a lot of new subscribers along the way. People interested in the build. It is going to be a lot of our build process, but then we're also going to get into some nerd level stuff about wiring or electronics in general. That's one of the things that I did before going into trucking, is I would make swap harnesses or race car wiring. So we're going to have some opportunities to talk about that, and maybe make some informational videos for other people with LS based cars or GTOs in general. Because if you look on some of the forums for information, it's either not there or people tell you that it's not possible, and I'm the type that you have to tell me why it's not possible before I'll believe it. So a lot of times when people are like, yeah, that's never going to work, I'm still the one that's doing it to try to figure out why it's not going to work, or figure out how to make it work. So you're going to see that along the way. A lot of the wiring stuff that we did to the car and then kind of reversed it, and then so it's been through a few iterations in the year that we have kind of been putting the supercharger together piece by piece when we are home. We'll go through that over in the next few videos, and then there's some content of when we were smoking some meats on home time, some new recipes that we tried out. So we appreciate watching, and we will catch you on the next one.